Hey everyone, it's Carla from Marie Lazo. I want to say a quick hello to everyone and I want to get started. Today is Monday, whatever day it is, and I promised, what day? The 16th? Yeah, it's December 16th. And I promised that I was going to go live tonight to talk about major manifestations. So we have, hey there! So we have, let's see, today is Monday. This Saturday is the winter solstice. We have Christmas coming up and soon New Year. We're going to be starting a new year. We're going to be starting a new decade. And a lot of people are getting ready to produce really awesome. Hey, Janae, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. A lot of people are getting ready to start this new year, this new decade with some awesome things. I know people have been talking about making some huge changes in their life, and they're saying, you know, there's going to be a lot of who does she think she is going on next year, and good for you. So I said that I was going to come on and give some tips, some lessons on how to use your magic to create these major manifestations. So that's what I'm going to be talking about tonight. So while I'm getting started, I want to ask people, like, what do you want to manifest this year? Like, I know some people want to write a book, some people want to get married, some people want to have a baby, some people want to go back to school, some people want to release a CD. Do people still release CDs? I mean, whole things. There's a lot of wonderful, manifestations that are being planned for the new year. And I want to hear, so anyone want to share what you're doing? So while you're letting me know, I'm just going to give you a little quick rundown on what I'm going to be discussing tonight. I made little notes and everything. So hopefully you have your notebook with you, because this is going to go on for a little bit. Okay. I want to open an online botanica with homemade conjure oils and candles. Ooh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a really, really good one. There's so many wonderful, magical businesses, botanicas online. And I love this network of people that we're meeting, that I've been meeting through Instagram. So I just love all of my magical sisters and brothers doing different things and sharing their magical gifts, selling their conjure oils, or they're doing work on behalf of others. They're doing readings. I've been trying different things or working in different industries online, and I found that I really prefer working with the magical side. I never thought that was going to be me, but here I am. Let's see, Panamanian Beauty says, I opened an online boutique this year, but next year I want to finally write my book. Ooh, good. That's great. That's great. That is fantastic. I've written a book, so, and by the way, I'm talking about major manifestations and talking about helping other people do it. And one reason why I can actually do that is because I have done, except for having a baby, which isn't something I was really interested in, but just about everything else I've done and I can help you do. So for example, if you want to write a book, I've written a book. If you want to buy a house, I've bought a house. You want to get married, I've gotten married. I've released CDs. I've done a whole bunch of different things. And I feel like if you want to use if you want to use magic to create transformation in your life, you really should. And I don't think you should wait till the last minute. Sometimes we use magic as a last resort. We're thinking oh, I have to pay my rent. I'm running out of money, and I something happened with my car and I have to pay for something to get fixed. We do a lot of quick fixes, and magic is definitely great for that. It's great for opening up those different channels. But there are also times when we want to do something big, but we don't necessarily think about using magic to create those major manifestations. So things like buying a house, writing a book. Now, the thing that makes those things major, actually, let me back up a little bit. Let me walk you through what I'm going to talk about, and then we'll get into that, because I definitely have some things to say about that. So so major manifestations have a few things in common. That's why this isn't just, I need $500 right now, or I need to get someone out of my life. Those things, when you need it, and you need it now, magic can definitely help you do that. But major manifestations have these certain characteristics. So for example, they require time to manifest. This isn't something that you can do in a week's time. You need time. So things happen over time. So you need to keep that focus. Major manifestations require people other than you. So that means it's no longer just you trying to make something happen. That means you might have to get a team of people. If you're trying to write a book and you want to get it published, you might need to get an agent. And then there's all these other people like editors who are going to be working with you to get that thing through. So if you're creating some kind of major manifestation, other people are going to be involved. And when you have other people involved, that's also where things can kind of get in trouble if you don't have like the right kind of focus, and magic can definitely help you do that. Another thing that major manifestations have in common, they require you to go outside of your comfort zone, because these things you're doing something you've never done before. And that's the other thing. A major manifestation is something that you have never done before. And if you could have done it already, you would have. So that means you're going to be pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. You're going to be asking people for help, asking people for money, asking people for resources. Or you're going to be, if you want to write a book that requires you to sit in a chair for a long enough time to actually write your book. Writing your book is not the easiest thing. And it's easy, but it's not easy, especially when we have things like, Amazon. You can self-publish, and it makes that part really easy. But in my experience, and for most people, writing a book, the hardest part I feel about writing a book is sitting down, is staying in one place and finishing the job. Just staying in one place, writing that book, and writing, and writing, and writing, and editing, and then maybe giving it to someone else to edit and someone else to proofread, and then things come back and then you have to re-edit it. So like those things require focus, and it's so easy while you're in the process of doing these major manifestations to give up. Sometimes we give up, or we get tired. We just get, if we have like a day job, for example, and we're trying to juggle these big dreams, we're trying to juggle that along with a family, a job. Life will get in the way. I can guarantee that it will. So I feel like using magic to kind of get around those things can be really helpful. We sometimes just lose our focus. We get tired. We get distracted. Something we didn't expect will happen, and it always happens. There's always going to be something when we are on our path that's going to come from nowhere that we didn't see. And if we're not careful, if we're not mindful, we will get distracted. So it's really important to know that a major manifestation is going to be so much bigger than like a simple spell for, I want to get a boyfriend, or I just want to, meet somebody. Hey, Leana, sorry, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. We're talking about major manifestations and going outside of your comfort zone and creating big things in 2020 and beyond. So as I was saying, just to summarize that for anyone who hadn't seen it before, major manifestations are things like starting a business. You want to maybe reach a big weight goal. You want to buy a house. You want to get married. You want to record a CD, if you're a musical, or put together a musical, whatever those big things are. They require time to manifest. They require lots of people other than you. They require you to go outside of your comfort zone, because this is something that you've never done before. So you're going to need a lot more energy and a lot more magic in order for this thing to happen. So that's why I'm here, to kind of give you my magical tips on what you could do. So, yeah. All right. So what else do I have? So I'm going to talk about the 3 common blocks that we have for major manifestations. And then I'm going to talk about my 7 steps to major manifestations. And then I'll tell you about my New Year's Cleanup Challenge that I have coming up. Starting December 26th through the January 1st, I have a New Year's Cleanup Challenge. So it's going to be an online course. It's really like an online challenge with live video. And so you can kind of get an idea of what my teaching style is, through these live videos. But I'm going to be giving you tips tonight. So if you have the time, get your notebook, and I'm going to, give you some tips. So I'm going to start out with talking about the 3 common blocks to major manifestations. So the first common block, or the first block to creating a major manifestation in your life, is not having a magical foundation. So as I mentioned before, you don't want to leave magic for the last minute. We often use magic when we're having an emergency, when we need, gas in our car, we need to pay rent, and we're like short at the end of the month, and we'll do some little spell to, create change or get money really quickly. And magic is great for that. But when it comes to creating something like larger, you don't want to leave that for the last minute, because major manifestations take time. If you're trying to, let's say you were trying to have a baby and maybe you're not having success for whatever reason, you want to start using that magic early on in order to learn what it is that you need to know. There might be something going on with your body. There's something that the doctor has to tell you. You might need to change your lifestyle. You may need to make room. Might need to make space for whatever this manifestation is. So you want to have a magical foundation, and that means, setting a clear intention of what you want. Sometimes we say that we want to do something, but we're kind of vague. So it's really important to have a clear intention, to set that, and to also set it magically. So that means like planting magical seeds, in the astral plane. So it's not just, I want to get a raise, I want to get a promotion. Then what promotion is it, and how much money are you making? What does that job look like? What does that work environment look like? It means really putting the time in to think about what that looks like, because all of that research that you do, that is also part of your foundation. But when you do things like, you could do a spiritual bath. I love doing spiritual baths. I suggest spiritual baths. I suggest decluttering, cleaning your house, cleaning your space. People think that, well, why do I have to do that? The thing is, you want to make room for blessings. One of my biggest, metaphysical tricks for anything is to tell people to clean their house. Like, if you need money, clean your house. Not just because you might find money around your house. I mean, you might, but there's something about the act of cleaning your space that creates a vacuum for other blessings to come through. So I have a song called, Make Room for Blessings. And you make room for blessings by getting rid of the things that you don't want. If you're trying to attract your soulmate, for example, you need to make sure that there's room in your house, in your apartment, for someone to come and visit you. Do you have a place at your dining room table where they could come and eat? Do you have room in your closet? Would they have room to put their clothes in? So you have to make space. So set a clear intention. Don't be vague of what it is that you want, because if you don't know what you want, you won't get it. So that first block is just not having a clear magical foundation, which includes setting an intention, cleaning your space, clearing your space, and just planting a magical seed. You might even want to do something like a small birthday candle spell. I really like those for like the beginnings. If you say, we do birthday candles for birthdays, and they're not just for kids. You could set your intention when you say, this is what I want to create this year. Before you do anything else, you can have a small birthday candle. You could take a small cup of rice, sand, salt, something that won't burn, and you could put your birthday candle in this little cup and set your intention. Of course, if you have like conjure oils, definitely use that. You want to use a color that represents your intention. Say you want to have it like green for money, prosperity, pink for love, red for passion. If you just want to create that first foundational intention seed, you could do that with the birthday candle. That's just a great way to start. So setting that magical foundation. So I feel like if you're going to do a major manifestation, you really want to have a magical foundation for it, and just make sure that it is solid. Okay, another block to a major manifestation is setting too many goals. Sorry, my heat's turning on. Turn that thing up. Okay, there we go. All right, so setting too many goals. Now, I'm a Capricorn, so I get it. I'm like, I got to make it happen. I want to do this and I want to do that. And like I said, I bought a house. I've written books, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't do them all at one time. I have definitely attempted, though. And the thing is, when I try to do everything at one time, when anyone tries to do anything at one time, your energy becomes scattered. And you're like, I want to have a baby, and I want to release a new CD, and I want to start a business. Like, those are so many different directions. The thing is, all of these major manifestations, any one of them is going to take you into a new part of your life. You know, it's going to take you through new challenges, new experiences, new lessons. So if you're trying to do all of these different things at one time, it's going to be very difficult to get one thing completed. Now, if you feel like, okay, I've been working on this one thing and I'm almost at this goal, like, okay, my house is almost done. My house, you know, I'm right about to close on this new house. Okay, then you could think about, okay, starting that baby, or, you know, the other way around. But trying to do so many things at one time they'll end up like canceling each other out. Or you'll end up having all these things going on at one time that you really won't be able to enjoy it, because you'll be stressed and led in different directions, and that's really not going to be helpful for it. So like, you don't want to be struggling to pay your bills, to pay for your house while you're also dealing with a new baby, or you're pregnant. Like, that's just more stress than you need. So if you haven't done any of these things before, focus on one, because just focusing on one of those major manifestations is going to take you to new places that you have never been. And until you've been there, I just say focus on that. So I would say focus on one thing for 2020. Like, what's the first thing? You want to write a book, you want to start a business, you want you and your partner to, finally get married. Just choose one thing. Choose one thing and focus on making that happen. And when you get to the finish line, then you start thinking about that next thing. So, yeah, that's it. Okay. Another block I see about another block for major manifestations is not setting protective boundaries around your goals. This is one of those things I think we forget about. But like, would you take, like, if you had a newborn baby, would you take your newborn baby to a nightclub? Why not? Because there's all kind of stuff. There's people drinking and maybe smoking and doing all kind of other things, and it's not necessarily an appropriate place for a baby. So you want to have so just like that baby, your intention, your goal should also be protected. Now, I was reminded of this. There was like this spiritual center that I go to, and one of my friends had just had a baby, and the baby was still pretty new, and she and her husband came to the church, to the spiritual center, and the husband was holding the baby, and the baby just looked so cute. And you know what it is about like baby feet? Baby feet just look so adorable. And I know better. Like, when you see a new baby, some parents are kind of like, did you wash your hands? But at this moment, all I saw were baby feet, and I couldn't help myself. And I saw myself reaching out to touch that little foot. And all of a sudden I heard, the husband squirted my hand with hand sanitizer, and I was like, oh, I was embarrassed, because I was like, oh my God. But I understand it. That was his first baby, and he doesn't want people he doesn't really know well, and he doesn't know if they wash their hands touching the baby. And I get that, and I know better. But he was being protective of his baby. So in that same way, you have to protect your baby, your intention. So I want you to think about, who are the people around you? And this is one of those things, these hard lines that have to be drawn that we don't think about, but it's really important to think about that. So for example, the people around you, are they people who are naysayers? Like, if you have people who are just like, oh, I don't know why you want to do that. Or you really think, or who do you think you are? Or people, are they goal setters? Are they naysayers? Are they on a different path altogether? Are they aminas? Like, my husband he calls certain people aminas, like, well, I'm gonna do this, you probably know people like that. They're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy a house, or yeah, I'm gonna go back to school, or I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna buy that building, and they talk, I'm gonna, but what are they actually doing? They talk about it, but you've heard the saying, don't talk about it, be about it. So are you around people who are actually action takers, who are actually making things happen? Look, but don't listen to just what they're talking about. What are they doing? You want to make sure that you are surrounding yourself with other people who are taking action, other people who are going after those big goals, and make sure that you know that what kind of frequency are these people on. And the other thing is, you can't tell everybody about what you're working on. You really can't. And I know that we all know this on some level. But sometimes we get so excited. We get so excited about this thing that we want to do, and we tell people, and someone will say something that will be like, oh, and it'll get you, and it might make you doubt yourself. And that is the danger. So I have a friend who is an actress, and years ago, she was listening to some other spiritual teacher that said, well, you have to speak as if you've already accomplished whatever it is that you want to accomplish, and you have to just speak it out into the universe. But the thing is, you can't speak that out to everybody, because not everybody is going to be worthy of hearing your dream. So she went to some party, and she met introduced to some guy, and he's like, oh, what do you want to do? What do you do? And she's like, well, I want to be an A-list actress. And he said, I want to be an astronaut, and he sneered, and he just really wasn't nice about it. And it ruined the rest of her night. And she was just kind of like, she was messed up over it. And at that time, her intention was still very much a dream for her. But I can say now, 10 years, she is now doing her acting. But at that point, that really made her doubt herself. She was wondering, am I too old? Am I the wrong background? She had, it put her in this certain place that she would not have been had she not told this stranger, what her dream was. There's that saying, I believe it's from the Bible, you don't cast your pearls among swine, around, pigs, basically. It's like when you have your baby, your intention, you can't tell everybody, what you're trying to accomplish. You can't tell every person that you want to do all these big things. And you know what? A lot of times it's family. So definitely family. Before I moved to New York, I had an aunt, and she was very negative, very critical about everything. And I said, oh, I want to move to New York and, and pursue my music. And she was like, who do you think you are? Maybe if you were like the Clark sisters or something, but, I don't know who you think you are. And that just really blew my mind. And that, obviously it hurt my feelings. And, I should have known better, in the sense that she has always been that negative person. She has always been that dream stealer. And some of those dream stealers in our lives are family. Sometimes they're the people that we love the most. They could be, they could be our partner, and so we have to be really careful about being mindful about who are those people that we are talking to, who are we sharing our dreams with. And when you realize that there's a certain person that is overly negative or critical, you're going to have to make the decision not to tell them about anything until after it's done. If it's something that you can, not tell them about, don't tell it. Don't, keep it to yourself. Whatever it's your prayer work, your magical work, when you're working on those big goals, certain people you just can't tell. And it just, and here it is. Now we're going into the holiday season. Well, we're going into, Christmas, and we're going to be seeing a lot of our family members, and we're going to be like, hey, how you doing? What are you working on? Blah, 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 blah. And, we all have that uncle, that aunt, that sister, cousin, whomever, who won't be supportive, and you cannot make them be supportive. So do not try to make this person change. If you already know that they're not a supportive person and they're not going to support your dreams and goals, then keep your mouth shut. Keep that excitement to yourself. Because remember, there's also, haters. There's haters and there's frenemies, people who will smile in your face or say whatever to you, but they're going to be talking about it maybe in a negative way to someone else, and my thing is, I don't want to have my good works in someone else's mouth, not before I've completed it, and so my thing is I keep it to myself. And then of course there's the evil eye. I mean, just people that are jealous, and just the act of being jealous, or that feeling of being jealous, it does, there is a reason why people have that evil eye symbol. It's to deflect jealousy from others, or people rolling their eyes when they hear you talk about the thing that you want to accomplish. So it's just best, of course, you of course wear your evil eye jewelry if you want to do that, but sometimes you could just protect yourself by just keeping your mouth shut. So one best way to protect your baby, to protect your intention, is to keep it to yourself and be quiet. Surround yourself with other goal setters and winners, action takers. They say that your network is your net worth. So when they say that, like, the average of the 5 people who are closest to you will all have about the same, make about the same amount of money. So if you have to think about, okay, who are the other people who are starting businesses? Who are the other people who are homeowners? Who are the other people who are getting married, like you have, or who are already married? You want to be on that same frequency even before you're there. You have to get in that preparation, because once you have a kid, for example, you're going to be hanging around other parents. So start thinking about that now. Start looking at what are they doing, and you can't just. Perfect example. I had been married before, and obviously I was divorced. I'm remarried. I just got married again. And but when I was going through struggles with my then husband, I was surrounded. Most of my friends were single. So when I was talking to my single friends were like, oh, I wouldn't put up with that. I wouldn't do that. And like, that was me. Blah, 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 blah. So I would listen to a lot of the advice that my single friends were giving me. And then when I would go back to my, when I would be talking to my then husband, I'd be like all smart mouth, blah, 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 blah. But at one point, though, I spoke to a woman who had been married 20 years, and I told her what I was doing. And I was thinking she was going to give me a high five and be like, oh, yeah, girl, but she said, do you really want to be married? Because, like, if you're trying to be married and you want to stay married, you can't be saying that. You can't be doing those things. And that was sort of that kind of caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting her. I thought she was going to be like, yeah, girl, I can't believe you told him that. Good for you. She said the opposite. She said, if you want to stay married, you need to watch that mouth. So, well, obviously the marriage didn't work, but I definitely got that lesson. So surround yourself with people who are also doing the same things that you want to do, who are on that same level, that same frequency, because that is how you also create that kind of magic with the people who are around you. So if you're doing some kind of, it creates like if you're into law of attraction, for example, that's a vortex. You're creating a vortex of positive energy by having other people who are going for big things, but you're surrounding yourself with people who have big dreams and big goals. And when you're around people who don't really have that kind of ambition, they're not going to have that same kind of thinking. So it's like, if you want to make a lot of money, you want to hang out with people that make more money than you. You don't want to be the person that makes the most money in your circle. You want to be the one who is making the least, because you're going to learn a lot just by hanging out with those people. Like, thinking of, if you're brainstorming with someone, what's the difference between brainstorming with, with a coworker versus brainstorming with Damon John, or any of those people, Mark Cuban from Shark Tank. They're going to be coming from a different mindset, and that's what you want. When you want to make those big changes, one of the first things that you have to change is your mindset, and that means talking with and hanging out with people who have that kind of mindset. So these are the different ways that you protect that goal, by keeping yourself surrounded by people who are excited and pumped and ready to do big things. Let's see, what else? Oh, another one. Mind your own damn business. Mind your own damn business. That's definitely a part of setting a boundary. Because when we're too busy talking about stuff, we are wasting energy. So for example, if I'm writing a book, and if I'm writing a fiction book, for example, and I'm going to parties or telling people about my story, like, yeah, well, this happens in chapter 1, and then what's going to happen is this, that, and the other thing. I'm doing a lot of talking, but I'm not doing any writing. And the thing is, the brain can't totally separate that. So all of that energy that you do by talking about the book that you haven't written yet, your brain kind of feels like, oh, well, I kind of did it already. And you never get around to actually doing the writing. So it's best to just not do a lot of talking. Tell people about what you did after you do it, not before. And another thing about minding your own business, watch your judgment. Like when you see other people doing things, you know, this happens a lot, like in like Facebook, for example. You know, we get into these conversations in a group or whatever, and we talk about, well, what we think is right and blah, blah, blah. You know, we get in that judgmental frame of mind. All of that is wasted energy. You could spend your time making someone else's post go viral, or creating all this other judgment or drama about some other situation that has nothing to do with you, nothing to do with the goal that you are trying to create. So mind your own damn business. You don't need to be getting into other people's business either. It's like, you don't want people in your business, you definitely need to stay out of other people's. Like, so when you see stuff, scroll past all that drama, because it's not important to you. It's so tempting sometimes when we see someone doing something online, and I'm like, I need to give them my opinion. Well, I need to tell them, you know, what I think, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares what I think. And I should just scroll past and work on what it is that I'm working on, because it just takes me out. It takes me out of the game. You know, when you see someone else doing something and they piss you off, and you just feel like you have to say something, you don't have to say anything. That has nothing to do with you. And you putting your opinion out there isn't going to change. It's not going to change their mind. Thank you. She said, so true. Exactly. Your opinion is not going to change anything. You know, it maybe might make you feel better in the moment, because, yeah, this is what I thought, and I told so-and-so, gave them a piece of my mind, and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. What matters most is that you take yourself to a higher vibration and you let it go. Scroll past. We see all kinds of stuff in social media that piss us off, and we roll our eyes, and then we might think we want to say something. Let it go. We have bigger fish to fry. We are trying to write a book. We're trying to buy a house. We are trying to start something big that we have never done before. So that means we need to refrain from the lower vibrational activities that have nothing to do with what we're trying to accomplish. So, all right, so mind your own damn business. That's one of my favorite ones. So what I have here. So watch your judgments, watch your mouth. So now that I've given you like the basic idea on what this is about, I want to talk about like my New Year's challenge, my New Year's Queen Up challenge. So I have a challenge, like a 7-day challenge. So, and it's $97, but anyone tuning into this video can get it at the special price of $47. And so it's like the Queen Up Challenge, what it's about, it's going to prepare you magically for your glow up, you know, for creating your big plan, your major manifestation. So what I'll be doing is giving a live daily video from December 26th through January 1st, and you're going to have a lifetime access to the replays. So that means each day we're going to be talking about another part of your glow up program, of your queen up process. And you're going to be surrounded by other, usually women, I think it's going to be mostly women, who are also going to be on that higher vibration, and they'll be giving you support, and I'll be there as well. And we'll be having daily music. I have like music for the day. I have tarot cards for the day. And because you have lifetime access, you'll be able to refresh yourself later in the year. And there'll be a Facebook group, so you can definitely, share your what do you call it? Just share your journey. But by the way, speaking of tarot cards, I wanted to talk about some today. So my favorite card in the tarot deck is the Empress. I love the Empress. The Empress, she's love, but she's fertility and abundance, and she's fullness, and she's all these wonderful things. But in order to become a queen, you also need to work on the Emperor card. The Emperor is like the CEO, the boss, and that means including structures. Like, so we have the divine feminine in the Empress because we're being a queen in our life. We are creating abundance, and we are serving others. You know, when we become queens, we also have a lot of abundance to share with others. We're not just being like misers. Queens are leaders. So, but to go and make that next step to queen up, we also have to tap in our inner emperor and the divine masculine, because we have both divine feminine, we have both feminine and masculine qualities. So with the masculine quality, the masculine provides the structure, it provides the boundaries. And a mentor of mine describes like the difference between the feminine and the masculine as if you imagine water, you know, water is feminine and it's emotions and it's, you know, it just flows everywhere. But you need to put it in a glass in order to drink it, because without that glass, the water is just flowing everywhere. But when you have that water in a glass, that's a structure. You can hold it, you can move it, you can drink it. And so we need both the masculine and the feminine energies in order to queen up. So you can't just be like, oh, granted, now the Empress, as I said, is my favorite card, and you do need to be that kind of a leader, but you also need you need to tap into the masculine properties of structure. So we're going to talk about blending those two areas, you know, within us. So, oh, you know, I didn't give you the website. If you are interested in checking out the price, checking out the information, it's queenupclub.com/golden. Oh, and the reason why I called it was I have another cool bonus. If you're one of the first 10 people to sign up, I will be sending you a deck of these golden cards. I love these cards. They just scream money and prosperity. So for anyone who is interested in getting that early bird price, or early bird, you know, special, you get some. They're gold and they have Benjamin Franklin on it. You can't really get that much more, you know, prosperity minded than that. Let's see, what else would I want to add to this? So now after we got that out the way, now I want to talk about the 7 steps to major manifestations. So Queen Up Club, that is my mystery school for major manifestations. I have a formula that I use and that I will be using during the Queen Up Challenge. So I have 7 steps, and I'm just going to go through those quickly. So the first step in the Queen Up Club formula is to prepare yourself to receive. Now, preparing yourself to receive, there's actually 2 parts to that. Preparing yourself means you know that you're going to receive. Like you have faith that you will receive your major manifestation. Therefore, you're going to prepare yourself. You're going to make room for whatever it is that you want to receive, and you're going to prepare yourself magically. So in addition to creating your first with the birthday candle and setting your intention, you're also cleaning your space, making room. You're preparing because you believe that you will receive. So it's like a 2-in-1. You're preparing yourself because you believe that you will receive. All right, so the next step after you prepare yourself to receive, meaning like you set your intention, you need to protect your intention. So step 2 in creating your major manifestation is to protect your intention. So very important. As I said, you wouldn't take a baby to a nightclub, so you're not going to take your dream, your intention, and give it to people who don't care about you, or people who are going to not respect your dream. And then number 3, get into fucking alignment. That's just, I get into fucking alignment. Like, you know, there's no other way I can say this. I had this lesson, like this, one of my spirit guides said this to me one day when I felt, I guess I was kind of floundering. I didn't know what I was doing. And it just said, get into fucking alignment. Get your shit together, girlfriend, because you're saying that you want to do one thing, but you're doing something different. So that means looking at what your resources are and saying, okay, this is in alignment with what I want to do. So therefore, I'm going to continue to do this. And this other thing that I'm doing, I shouldn't be doing. So say, for example, if you say that you want to lose 25 pounds, then one of the things I would say is like, okay, let's look at your Facebook feed, your Facebook feed, because a lot of people do this. They'll have, especially this time of year, they will post pictures and videos of like all kind of gooey recipes and things that have nothing to do with losing weight. So things like get into alignment. Or if you want to meet your soulmate, for example, I would say, okay, look at your Facebook feed and or your Instagram feed. Like, what things are you posting that are like man bashing, that are saying, no, don't, that men aren't shit, or all of those things are working against you. And you have to look at your entire life and look at the different areas and see what things are you currently doing that are in alignment. And then you might have to try some new things to get into alignment. So get into fucking alignment. That's step 3. Step 4 in your major manifestation is to create and complete an action plan. Now, this action plan is both on the physical level and the magical level. So, of course, we're going to create some kind of magical. I will help you create your own customized, personalized ritual for manifestation, because I really feel that that's important. But just as important is to have a physical action plan. Like, what are you going to do in the next 30 days? Like, we need to have a plan set for, okay, it's a new year and I say that I want to do this. Well, what's your next step? And what's your step after that? And what's your step after that? There has got to be a plan in place in order for that magic to happen, because it's not going to happen by itself. And the thing is, once you take certain steps, you're going to learn things that you're like, oh, okay, I'm not supposed to do this. I need to do this. Or you go in one direction and then someone says, oh, you need to meet this person, or you need to meet that person. But nothing happens when you stay in one place. You have to take action. This is how we learn, by taking actions. We don't learn by just, well, let me figure out how I'm going to do something and then I'm going to do it. No, we learn when we take those actions. So that's why it's important to take steps, to pray and move your feet. It's not enough to just pray. It's not enough just to do, not just to only do kind of a ritual. Because like writing a book, you can't write a book without sitting in front of a computer or writing it down. You have to take action. And again, writing a book is something that's going to take time. And I'm not even exaggerating. I'm just saying the pencil isn't just going to write by itself. You have to think about, okay, what's my plot going to be? What's the outline? What are my chapters? Do I need to go to a writing workshop and share my ideas with the teacher or a class and learn how to do this, or learn how to do writing structure? Like, these things require you to learn things and to do things that you have never done. So you have to take action. So we want to create and complete an action plan. And then after that, we want to reflect. Once you do your magical, ritual, you want to listen to your intuition for guidance. Because once you do your spell, your manifestation ritual, whatever you want to call it, you want to give yourself time to listen to spirit, listen to whatever, guides, ancestors that speak to you, because you might get some kind of message that says, go to this person, talk to this person, take this class, go look at this website, so the first thing you want to do after you complete your ritual is to be still and listen to whatever messages come your way. And then after that, you want to review. At this point, you have to give your ritual time to do its work. So you have to release it. You have to let it go. And you're like, okay, I did my candle spell. I've done, whatever it was, how I did it. Now I have to sit back, let it go, reflect on whatever message is. But then after some time time passes, then you also have to start reviewing. So review, meaning evaluate your results. Because the thing is, none of these things are one steps. That's why it's a major manifestation, because you're going to have to do things several times. So once this first go round goes through, you want to evaluate your results and ask yourself, what worked? What didn't work? What did you learn? What are you going to continue doing? What are you going to stop doing? And what are you going to start doing? You might have gotten some information, or someone suggested, well, you should do this thing. And then you try it and it doesn't work. And so you have to go back to the drawing board. So you have to think, okay, someone told me to do this, or my teacher told me to do that, or my friend told me to do this, and that didn't work. So, okay, but you might have done something else and someone said, oh, this did work. You're like, okay, I'm going to keep doing this, or I'm going to keep going to this particular networking meeting, or I'm going to continue working with this particular person because they have some really great ideas and you enjoy brainstorming, or maybe you're starting a mastermind with different people. Give yourself some time to listen to the messages that you've received and the lessons that you've learned by going through that first round of the formula, of this cleanup process, because it's a process. That's the whole thing. It's a process. If it was if these things were easy, everyone would do them. But when you say, okay, I want to do this big thing, that means you're going to have to do things you have never done before. And it means staying the course and really paying attention to what's working and what's not working and being honest with yourself. And again, that's where it really helps to have other people who are on that high vibration, who are doing big things, because they can also give you feedback and say, well, you know what? You did really good with this thing. This thing, it didn't work out so much. And you really want to get that feedback, because you don't just want to have all that information in a vacuum thinking like, well, yeah, I think I did good. But did you? Do you know? How do you know? And then rinse and repeat until you're satisfied. Again, as I said, this is a process. So once you've reviewed and you got your lesson, you're going to have to start over. And starting over doesn't necessarily mean, well, in a sense it is. You are going to be doing everything over again in that formula, but each time is going to go a little faster because you've learned. Because when you take your lesson from that first time through, then you're going to do something different. So you prepare. So the steps, I'll just run through them again. Prepare yourself to receive, number 1. 2, protect your intention. 3, get into fucking alignment. 4, create and complete your action plan. 5, reflect, listen to your intuition for guidance on what to do. 6, you review your results, you review your lessons. And 7, you rinse and repeat until you're satisfied. So basically, you're going to be doing this thing over and over and over, this particular process, until you get what you want. If you're trying to get a house, for example, you might learn that, oh, I have a lot of, credit card debt, or, oh my goodness, I forgot that I had student loans that I have to pay for. And, you're going to have to find solutions. And it's not for you to sometimes when people will get a result that they don't like, they'll say, oh, the universe doesn't want me to have it. No, it's not true. The universe is not saying that you're not supposed to have that house, or you're not supposed to, get married or anything like that. It's just the universe, or whoever you want to call it, is presenting issues for you to resolve. They're just things that are coming up for you to resolve. So how are you going to do that? You're going to go back to the drawing board. You're going to okay, is your intention changed at all? No? Okay. Do you have some more cleaning up to do? Do you need to make sure that you're hanging around with the right people? Or maybe you need some other new people who can help you accomplish their thing. We just do this over and over until you are satisfied. Satisfied sometimes means you decide, I don't really want this anymore. And that is still a valid thing. And you just might say, you know what? I want something else. And then you just take this method and you'd apply it to something else. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you have to go through these steps because, again, a major manifestation requires time and effort and other people. And someone told me once that if your dream can be done just by you, then it's not big enough. Like if you could do it yourself, your dream is not big enough. Everything that's big requires other people. It requires effort. And you have to put the effort in. And it's like, and if you don't put the effort in, you're just going to get what people want to give you. And people don't want to give you anything. So you're going to have to fortify yourself with that, with your personal magic in order to make things happen for yourself. And that is why I'm so excited, about this Queen Up Challenge for the new year, to go through all of these different steps in detail with a group, with a community, with other like-minded individuals. And, you get to create your own personalized ritual, and you get support from me and other queens. And it's 7 straight days. So it's like the day after Christmas, which is a new moon, by the way. December 26th, Thursday, is the new moon in Capricorn. And it's just in time to lay the foundation for a magical year. And the last day of the challenge is January 1st, which is perfect. And, you can take all of those daily lessons, and all of that is programming your brain and programming your subconscious to say, okay, I'm ready to win. I am preparing myself to win in the new year, in 2020 and beyond. So you want to do those big things, you have to do things that you have never done. And as I said, the usual price is $97, but just for anyone who is paying attention to these videos, it's $47 up until December 21st. And the first 10 people get a pack of these lovely golden playing cards. People seem to like these cards, and people always ask me for them. So I'm like, you know what? I tell you what, I will give them away to the first 10 people who sign up before December 21st, and they also get that $47 price. Oh, by the way, I don't think I gave the website. If I did, or if I didn't, I'll give it again. It is queenupclub.com/golden. That's queenupclub.com/golden. Right, okay. And speaking of December 21st, this Saturday, it is the winter solstice. And if you sign up before December 21st, I'm also doing a extra early bird Q&A session this Saturday. So December 21st at 7 p.m., I'm doing just a Q&A for like the early birds, so we could talk about what you want what you want to create in 2020, and just get to meet people early on and see what people are talking about, see what people are doing. Yes, Queen Up Club. Thank you for posting that. Yes, queenupclub.com/golden. Yes, and you'll see the special price for $47 on that page. If you went to the other page, you'd see the regular price. But just for people who are paying attention, and for all of you who are like still tuned in, it's like really excited. I'm almost wrapped up, so just keep holding on. So queenupclub.com/golden is the link to get to the special early bird price, and I'll contact you and send you these in the mail. These I love it. Don't these cards just look just prosperity? We have these golden cards with Benjamin Franklin. It's all about the Benjamins. I love these cards. Anyway. So what else? Let's see. The day after Christmas is December 26th, and that's a new moon. So that's another good thing about starting this new moon, this New Year's Queen Up Challenge. December 26th is a new moon in Capricorn. And I don't know if you notice this, I am a Capricorn. So my personal magic, I feel like it's going to be even stronger than it usually is. And I'm so excited to use that energy to help others, create that personal transformation. Capricorn is all about, creating and business and making things happen. So anyone who wants to get some of that Capricorn energy, come on in. So, it's Capricorn. It's my time. It's our time. If you want to join in with this New Year's Queen Up Challenge, you're going to get that opportunity to share in all of that new moon, that new moon in Capricorn, but also just that new moon energy. Capricorn is structure, it's business, it's big time goals. So, you'll be in the right place. So I guess I'll wrap this up. So if you want to get info on this course with the early bird bonus, it's queenupclub.com/golden. Now, also, just in case, if anyone, I have a free email course. If you just, if you're like, well, no, I can't do this right now, but if you're interested in learning how to create your own customized spell, I have an email course that's totally free, and that is at queenupclub.com/spell, SPELL. queenupclub.com/spell. Okay, so anyway, I'm running out of battery, but anyway, that's good. I'm done. queenupclub.com/golden for the for the New Year's Queen Up Challenge. And if you want the email course, it's queenupclub.com/spell. So I'm Carla from Marie Lazeau. Thank you so much for tuning in and staying to the end. I'm so excited. If you have any questions, let me know and I will be sure to respond. So have a great evening. And this is going to be a magical, magical 2020 if you're with me. So see you soon. Bye.